What's going on out there, Culture Junkie Nation? It's your boy Ken Shiro. We're back with another great episode of Culture Junkies Live. Today's episode, we're going to recap the awesome Wrestlemania XL, WrestleMania 40 that just happened over the weekend, and also talk about the Monday Night Raw that followed that happened in Philadelphia as well. We got to talk about that absolute stunner of an X-Men 97 episode that's got everybody in their fields today. And also we'll talk about a few other things, including the Star Wars Outlaws story trailer that was on the show. But introduce who's going to be on the show with me today. Returning after a long absence himself is King Amarak, following along with my friends, the great Dadakuji and GQ. What's up, guys?
No, hi everybody.
Hey, how's everything going?
Right. Snapping.
That's the new clapping snapping.
Yeah, man. What you been up to? Where you been?
Here.
Yeah.
I've just been sitting in front of this computer and going to work, man.
Okay, I got you. You know, nice little backdrop back there. You know, you got the lights. You know, you got the pops in the background. He's got his computer screen that's basically showing himself on screen. You know, he's got a GQ problem where he's kind of vain and he really likes looking at himself apparently. So
true, but
I would not call that a problem.
The screen being that
he wouldn't call it a problem, huh? Okay,
I also agree with that.
Yeah, you wouldn't call it a problem. Okay, all right, cool.
Put it this way: you got to love yourself first, then everybody will follow.
That's very valid. Very valid. Out there in the chat, over there in the chat, Mrs. Amarak is here. Wolverine Solid X is here. Obviously, Preem is here. Brian Cannon is here. What's up to you all? Thank you for joining us. Nobody's checked in on Facebook yet, but we're also broadcasting on YouTube and Kick as well. So as soon as those audiences get there, you know, we'll acknowledge them as well, much like Roman Reigns and the Fallen Bloodline, all that other kind of stuff. But let's get some of the smaller stuff out of the way real quick. So I don't know if you guys have seen on YouTube, there was a trailer for a soon-to-be released game using the Mickey Mouse public domain property that is stylized very much like Cuphead, but it is a first-person shooter / brawler that is incredibly violent. I don't know if you guys gotten to see that trailer yet. It's called Mouse. Have you guys seen it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Share your thoughts. What do you think? Is this cool? I mean, because much like the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey type deal, is this what we're going to be expecting? Like super ultra violent versions of these Disney characters just being put across put on the planet?
I like the stylization of it, but I won't play it because you know me and first person shooters don't always sit too well.
Oh yeah, you get a little nauseous sometimes. Yeah.
I'm probably going to day one this thing. I do love the way that it looks. First of all, there's some shooters, but like I like how they took how creepy things looked back then because it just did inherently and continued from like the look to how it would feel to have that. So yeah, I kind of want to see how this plays out. But it reminds me a lot of like a first person Mad World. So I'm concerned it might be like really simplistic.
Okay. Out in the chat real quick, I want somebody to actually address this. Did anyone watch that Winnie the Pooh movie?
It's in my list. I've been planning on it. This week should have been my week where I just watched unlimited movies, but I have not watched as many as I have planned on it. Been watching a lot of anime though.
You still got a little bit of time.
Yeah, I got till Monday, so I got a lot of time to watch some movies. But tomorrow I'm supposed to get out and dig shit up in.
So none of you, nobody has
watched. Say that. It might rain.
Oh, it's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Nobody.
I'm kidding. I don't know. It's Michigan.
Yeah, that's what they said. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, but so nobody saw it.
No.
Nobody really. Okay, interesting.
Here's the thing on that. It'll always be around in some form, some fashion. You know, it's something that got released. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it to me, Blood and Honey is not a high priority movie. It just isn't. And in Mouse, whatever. I might play it eventually.
High priority movie. There's very little of those for me.
All of that is fair. That's all fair. That's all true.
again,
very true.
like Amrock said, if it looks as good as you guys are saying, then cool. I'll probably end up checking it out. Cuphead. The only reason I even played Cuphead is because how it looked. It was amazing.
This
Fun
literally
game.
looks like Steamboat Willie, like black and
So,
white
I
and
mean,
everything.
yeah. So at some point, I'll probably play it.
Okay.
And to speak to Brian Cannon's thing, Cocaine Bear was hilarious.
I still need to see that. I haven't seen that yet.
I did watch that, and it was very ridiculous and hilarious. And like, how did that get greenlit? But it did, and then it spawned a whole bunch of just weird knockoffs, I guess. So
it was based on a true story.
Yeah, the true story. They just found a fucking bear that was dead. They embellished the hell out of that.
They wildly embellished that shit. Yeah,
of course. I mean, come on, now you got to. I mean, I got it sitting over there, probably still unopened.
Cocaine,
baby.
Probably.
On cocaine, baby.
I picked it up during Black Friday or something.
Right. All right. So the other thing I saw that I mentioned in the open that I wanted to touch on real briefly is Star Wars Outlaws got its story trailer released, and it is now obviously it came with a launch date August 30th. So and it's also available for pre-order right now. So did anybody see that? And did it increase or decrease your interest in the game? Amarak, why don't you take this one?
Oh shit! Me and this gaming thing. I'm pretty much day one in that. Also, that's a pre-order.
Yeah,
it looked good.
It did.
It does look good.
I have nothing that I can critique in hand enough, and even just by like seeing this trailer to say I'm not going to enjoy whatever they give me at this point.
Couple of things
this year.
Couple of things that I did see out of it, right? And hello to Marcus A64 joining us over on Twitch. Now, one of the things that I did, a couple of things out of the trailer. Saw Kira from Crimson Dawn in the trailer, and also saw that the main character is going through Jabba's palace where Han Solo was still hanging up, which I thought was really interesting because I don't think we were necessarily sure what era of this story took place, but now it's confirmed to be firmly set within the Rebellion era, specifically between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Thoughts on that? Were you wishing that it would be like in a different era, or?
Nah, not really. Not to me. I mean, Star Wars is Star Wars. You can put anything in any era. For the story to be interesting for me, I'm gonna watch it. And I personally have been interested in all the stories. Not all. I haven't seen a miss like a lot of people. It's just it's either fire or just like the latest Bad Batch was kind of just it wasn't fire. It was just.
No, that's fair. No,
for me, setting it in that era is very similar to how you had Shadows of the Empire, which was set during a time period that we know.
Yeah.
But it's something else that was happening in, at the same time as other stuff. You might run into some major characters, you might not. So
okay.
All I know is there's not going to be any lightsaber wielding. That's fine.
Which is fine.
I'll be happy shooting everybody that gets in front of my blaster.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, you if it's open world and you're gonna be a scoundrel. Now, the other thing is, some people are making big bones, and I really get tired of them doing this. But there's a critique about how the main character's live action model. It looks like they didn't make the character as attractive as her live action counterpart, and some people are upset about that. Like, why
you talking about Kira?
No, not Kira. I'm talking about literally the main character of the game. The person she was modeled after, her face is not quite as attractive, or doesn't look as I guess she's average looking, but she doesn't.
Didn't we learn anything from last week?
No.
Oh my God, we're gonna complain about. Oh, she got a nice ass, and why the heck she looks so beautiful? She can't be in the fight in this game right here. And no, she's not hot enough. No, you can't have like these fucking people, man.
I'm just gonna put it this way: anybody that complains about how a video game character looks is a eunuch.
Doesn't make any sense.
I'm just
He's
putting it
a
out there.
eunuch.
All
They're
of
a
y'all are
eunuch?
eunuchs. You're just a eunuch at this point. If that's the complaint that they're going to come up with, or the reason they're going to bitch about the game, you're a eunuch. Period.
Okay.
For life for me, it doesn't
All
make
right.
any gosh darn sense. Like it doesn't. They complain that something's too hot. The complaint is not hot enough. They complain blah blah blah. Just like play the fucking game, man. I mean,
Just play the game.
I don't know.
Just play the game. Like you said, just play the game. 100%. All right, y'all. So it's been 10 minutes in, but I think that's long enough. We let people gather, let people get in. Let's talk about that X-Men 97 episode, man. That has got Amarok is
No
behind.
spoilers.
I'm fine.
It's gonna be hard, but
Who didn't watch it?
No spoilers. You don't know if people in the audience haven't seen it.
Didn't I tell you to sit on that goddamn toilet and watch it?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Don't you dare come back here next week. You ain't sitting on that toilet watching it.
Yeah, exactly. A nice long dope dump.
Yeah,
and you can watch this episode. But
wake up early in the morning and watch it while you're making breakfast, or while you're eating breakfast, drinking your coffee, reading your paper. Don't read the paper. Watch the show.
Yeah. All of that. Now, honestly, man, like I said, that episode had it all. And here we are yet again. What is this? It's 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks in, but typically essentially it is the 5th episode. The 5th episode of a 10-week episode of a 10-episode order. And every episode has just been a banger. I mean, okay, some people have issues with last week's Jubilee-centric episode. Whatever, Easter eggs aside, whatever. Some people even had issues with the first part of the Storm episode. I all of that aside, they have just all been bangers. This one may have been the most banger-like episode we've ever had because so many story beats it hit on. The love triangle on two fronts, not just one, on two fronts. You get to see Genosha, the Easter eggs in this episode where the various characters for comic book readers like me recognize quite a few of the characters that are in the current run of the X-Men. Some of the younger mutants were featured prominently in this episode multiple times. On the mutant island of Genosha, seeing Trish Tilby and her flirting with Beast, just everything. Y'all talk about it.
You want to hear what's the craziest part? According to somebody said the creator,
we can't hear you. Get closer to the mic.
According to people on TikTok, they said that the creator said that they were just getting started. That's not even like the best one. It's not like, oh, this is the peak. They said they haven't even. There's more to come that you just like.
And that I thought was a crazy comment by the now fired creator of X-Men 97, Bo DeMeo.
Which is crazy.
They still haven't talked about why he got fired.
Well, the rumors he has an OnlyFans. Don't know if it's explicit or not. And nobody should care because first off, you got OnlyFans, it is behind a paywall. So if somebody was paying to see behind his wall, either A, you wanted that stuff, or B, who cares? It's like I don't know, man. I don't see what that has to do with anything because, like, in a year from now, even if he still was in there, a year from now, nobody wouldn't even remember. Nobody's gonna care.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's one of those situations where when you sign up with that particular company, you better lock your closet door as firmly as you can. Because I guarantee you, there is a morality clause in every single Disney contract. That's why they're able to fire these people if they get in any sort of trouble or any sort of thing that is not a good look for the company.
Yeah, but from my understanding, OnlyFans, you don't have to do anything that what people associate. It could be a bunch of his art that he wants people to pay for.
I know it absolutely could be, but the problem is he has to understand that the majority of people, when they hear OnlyFans, they're thinking of porn.
Yep, and that's unfortunate. They need to
broaden their minds.
Yeah,
They might need to broaden their minds, and that's absolutely
it's
true.
not gonna happen because this is how the world works.
And until that happens, keep a very firm lock on that closet.
Yeah, 100%. Now, so getting back to the story, you guys tell us, trying without any spoilers, what was the parts that you really liked the most? If you can do
Wild
it.
Man of Borneo.
Yes. Now, okay, let's talk about that. So
that was shocking.
So seeing Cable in this episode, right? How do you feel about him not having the same voice?
I don't care.
Yeah, I really don't.
Okay. I mean, his voice was so distinctive in the first one.
It most definitely was.
I really wish we could have had.
We're not here anymore, and they're telling the story, and there's people talking, and they're portraying it very well. And as long as the people are portraying it well, and they don't sound like freaking Gilbert Gottfried or kind of, I don't care.
Yeah. Brian Cannon's right. A lot of people don't have the same voice. He's right. Very, very much so. Being, especially Gene / Madeline Pryor don't have the same voice. Scott doesn't have the same voice, obviously.
And Wolverine sounds different.
Wait, so the OG voice actor for Cable is the voice of Executioner? Oh man, that's interesting. Okay, I didn't realize that. I wonder why he wasn't allowed to be Cable then.
Probably because his voice changed so much. I mean, like I said, Cade Dodd sounds completely different. Like he just sounds older, and they probably still use him because Wolverine's old and sounds gruff. The original Jubilee was the old Jubilee from last week, and they got
right.
Got a new actress for that. I mean, it is what it is. I'm being entertained. I like being the fact that I forget his name who played Cyclops passed away. There was an interview where he says there's a freaking compilation on YouTube where the old actor just saying Gene all the time, so he was able to hear it and replicate it. Gene! Yeah. I mean, they're doing a good job. Everything so far is spectacular. The show was made for us. It's hitting all the marks, and it's better than the one from the 90s.
100%. And Amarak, I'll let you talk about the show. And I know you only watched a couple episodes, and you caught some TikTok clips. But what strikes me is, as someone who actively reads the X-Men and has been reading them for over 20 years, they are literally hitting all the tones of numerous comic book runs. And the way they're able to write these stories, because they're not hindered by having to be under TVY7 or TVY14, guidelines as far as like content. They're able to touch on a lot of mature themes, and I think that is what's really helping to sell the show, because a lot of the themes they're talking about, especially in this episode, really helped sell the drama of everything that we saw in this episode. And Amarak, I'm gonna need you get on it and watch X-Men 97. Like literally after we go off the air, the next thing you and Mrs. Amarak need to be doing is watching that. Even if she ain't here, if she ain't in the house, watch it. Just watch it again.
Now that WrestleMania and stuff is over with, I get a little bit of a mental break to watch other stuff.
She's right there. She's right there in the comments.
I know.
And she's on, and she says, "Bet, let's do it." Right? Y'all need to get on that. Right?
Yep.
So get on that. I'll be home soon.
Hurry up.
Road Dog.
Be
like
careful.
checking in on the road. Road Dog. Love her for that. Anyway. So talk about the show, what your experience has been in, like you're not much of a comic book reader, are you? Right?
Yes, but it's been a while since I would like just sit down and go through collections.
Right.
But just from being a kid watching the original X-Men and like watching it enough with the reruns and everything to where it's just like a staple in my brain, to going into this, they did as much of a good job as they could with just like an actual continuation. It almost feels like nothing really stopped. It looks better, and the sound quality and things like that are better. But I like the fact that they were able to like copy the feel of the original and continue that. So I'm interested in watching the rest of it. Don't get me wrong. I haven't like completely put it to the side. I had so much wrestling catch up. Like it's
Yeah.
literally just been like me watching the Road 2s and all that shit.
Mhm.
So like now that I got that break, we will watch as much 97 as we can tonight.
Okay, all right. Get out of the chat. Wolverine Solid X. Do y'all think they'll make a new Spider-Man cartoon with the Fox series? We used to watch episodes since the sex of X-Men of '97. I would love to say yes. Here's why I'm going to say no. Probably due to some of the rights that the original Spider-Man series were under. I want to say that is probably still underneath Sony's umbrella.
Mm-mm.
It could be. I could be wrong.
To my understanding, Sony only has the movie rights. Everything else Disney has.
Well, remember, okay, and
That's
it
my
would be interesting.
I could also be wrong.
Right. It would be interesting to find out if they would do that. Here's the other reason I would say no. Is because I don't have a real good reason to say no. If I'm being honest now, I don't have a good reason to say no. Would I like
I got
them
a good
to?
reason.
Yeah. Would I like them to? Yeah. I think I would. I think I would. I would like them to. I just don't see that as likely.
I want them to do another one so they can update that shocker meme. I'd be all in if they had a man come back in and start screaming shocker again. That would be
the shocker.
That would be hilarious. But no, they could definitely do it. If Spider-Man 98 or whatever you want to call it, they could do it.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason not to.
No, you're right.
Especially now that you have basically rebooted Peter Parker in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
You can start telling interesting stories that lead up to his next movie.
Mm-hmm. Now,
nobody in the MCU proper knows who he is anymore.
Part of the reason here's another reason why I think they won't. I know that Spider-Man freshman year animation project is still alive. I don't think they'll develop two Spider-Man animation things at the same time. I just don't think that'll happen.
Here's the thing. Wasn't Spider-Man freshman year announced during that big, huge slog of tons of projects that they wanted to do?
Yes.
Many of which have been put on hold and or canceled.
Yes.
They can retool Spider-Man freshman year. They don't have to do that.
I guess so.
Roll right into a very good Spider-Man 98.
I guess so. No, that's true. That is true. That is 100%.
Because you can have serious crossover. Because remember, Spider-Man existed in the X-Men universe back then. He was in
that is also true.
Yeah, he had a cameo, sort of, kind of, in the first episode or second, or one of the two. And then if they're in the same universe, you could have all sorts of fun with that.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had that crossover
though
between the two. What's the concern?
Okay, X-Men. That's a little bit more handleable than the Spider-Man series, because now we have everybody with so many different branches of knowledge, because we've not been oversaturated with Spider-Man, but have had a lot over the past few years. That if they were to bring something like this out, there would be too many people comparing, and there would be so much internet banter and things like that. If it's not handled as well as the X-Men 97 was, it won't go well.
People are going to complain whether it's good or bad.
Understandable. But this is now the Spider-Man that has so many arcs that everyone's aware of and have had opportunities to learn more about it, to where if we go back to the 98, it would get picked apart.
And that's perfectly fine, because if they have somebody that comes in like the guy that did X-Men 97, doing it, paying homage to what was in the past, but also putting out really good stories based on the stuff that's the hundreds of issues of Spider-Man that are out there, let people complain. Who cares? If you do a good job like they did with 97, who cares?
I just hope that, like, if something like this happened, it would be as good, well handled as 97. But like, incorporating too much can jack something up, man.
Out of the chat, Marcus Superior Prior says if they don't do Spider-Man 98, they could do Spectacular Spider-Man, which ended way too early. Wow, I 100% agree with you. And that one ended way, way too early. And to me, is still the best animated Spider-Man we've ever gotten from a feel / story, storytelling perspective. Spectacular Spider-Man is owned by Sony. So they can't do that one, unfortunately.
And
that one is owned by Sony. They can't do that one. Which is
because there's all sorts of stuff they could do with the Spider-Man 98. You could go into
yes, they could.
Like leave Mary Jane lost in a dimension. I don't care about her anyway. There's plenty of other love interests that he has that are better. Basically, you could go now if you want. They could go fast track stories like they're doing in '97. Bring her back, kill Aunt May, bring in Superior Spider-Man. Like there's all sorts of stuff you can do.
Yes,
that would make for a really interesting series.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like boom, you just hit every single thing as fast as they're hitting X-Men. And then just keep it going. I think they should.
It'd be interesting.
100%.
Yeah, no matter where they go, because they know that this show is successful. And if they kind of model it a little bit after bringing in the nostalgia, but keeping the storylines, close as possible to, actual storylines, it could be successful.
By the way, last thing on this before we get out of here. Shout out to Invincible last week for when Angstrom was sending him on portals all over the universe. They portaled him to a universe where in actuality in the Invincible comic he was ported over to Spider-Man's universe, and it was actual Spider-Man comic. In here they decided to do an Agent Spider, what they called Agent Spider, that literally was an amalgam of Spider-Man and fighting Dr. Octopus. But Agent Spider was voiced by Josh Keaton, who was the voice of Spider-Man in Spectacular Spider-Man, which I thought was a very nice touch. Very, very nice touch. Shout out.
They also did Batman too. When he says
they did do Batman too. You're right. They did do Batman too. Now, and Robert Kirkman, that sly dude, tried to play it off like it wasn't really Batman or it wasn't really a Batman homage. But literally, Mark was like, you're a guy who runs around town dressed like a bat, and you call yourself Bat. Yeah, that's a little bit on the nose, isn't it? It was a funny little thing. Anyway, getting off of that. All right, guys, let's turn the page and talk about what everybody is calling WWE Endgame, because it really did feel like it. The WrestleMania 40, WrestleMania XL. I think it's on record the biggest WrestleMania they've had ever. Probably the biggest they've had in years, as far as like attention, excitement and stuff like that. The 2-night, main event, and I think it was full of a lot of really good stuff on both nights. I personally only got to see Sunday's entire thing. I was over at Dido's house with GQ, and we got a pizza, and we sat and we watched it like old times. But Cody Rhodes completed his story, and I think we can all agree that this one was a fantastic WrestleMania. Amarak, you're a big wrestling guy. I know what these two thought about the show. Give me your thoughts on WrestleMania 40 and everything that happened.
So, like, coming back into this and learning who everyone is up until like the WrestleMania for the past year or so, because I've just jumped back in. Like, I've watched you put in work, and it showed during WrestleMania. They were really good matches. I'm glad that they actually are listening to us a little bit more. Our truth, right? Fucking, I haven't seen a WrestleMania in like the past 5 or so where I just sat down and was glued to it. Not yet alone it being 2 days. It was one of the best WrestleMania experiences I've had since WrestleMania 2000, which I still have on VHS here. Even today, I was driving home, and as loud as I possibly could, windows down, blaring Seth Rollins theme. I'm
Good stuff.
back in. I'm back in strong. It was a good show.
Very,
So has The
very,
Rock
very, very
truly
good comment.
made wrestling cool again.
Yes, he did. Just like he alluded to on Raw the following night. Out of the chat, Fallen Marvel checking in on Facebook, said something that I personally, feel as well. First one I've watched in years and thoroughly enjoyed. You're 100%. And the missus is claiming, responsibility for you enjoying. You enjoying and being back in. You're welcome, Amarak, and
Not a
obviously
claim, it's a fact.
she's the wrestling fan in the house.
Oh God, yes.
Clearly, she's the wrestling fan in the house. So,
you should see her belt.
Clearly. Okay. Want to say, you'll have to go get that and show it off. What's up to Mark Cooper? Congratulations again on your launch of your Kickstarter, sir. Good to see you in the chat there. But no, guys, we know night 1, night 2. Between both nights, what would you say if you had a top 5 list of the matches that you saw? Or no, top 5 is too deep. Top 3. What do you say your top 3 matches of WrestleMania XL were? You guys in the chat, follow along. You guys do the same thing, please.
Best matches.
Mm-hmm.
I would say main event night 1, main event night 2.
Mm-hmm.
And because remember I was going to get pizza for some of them, so
That's true.
Missed a little
Here
bit.
you were. You did miss the end of Seth and Drew, which to me, was in my top 3. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre was really good, if only because the way it ended, especially with Drew winning it and then losing it that. That was great. That was great stuff.
Should have just walked away.
Exactly. Should have just walked away.
I mean, he had to gloat, but I guess my third would probably be not so much Gunther Sammy. It was all right, but whatever.
Marcus A64 says Gunther versus Sammy and both main events. I get that. Other Steve says Undertaker sent Rock to the Shadow Realm. Yo, man. I mean, look, man. That the main event of night 2, man, with the Avengers Endgame moment where everybody was popping out, whether it be Seth Rollins, hitting the Shield music, basically coming out of the crowd.
That was beautiful.
I just wish the director had picked the right camera angle, because we were sitting there like, we hear the music.
Where's
the crowd? The crowd is too dense for him to get through. So if he did come through the crowd, it was like, okay, either find him in the crowd or whatever, because we missed basically kind of what happened when we were watching it live.
We didn't see it until he got that chair shot to the face. Pretty much. That was the only time we saw Seth. There's the belt. That is a nice belt. That is a nice belt.
Dude, it's heavy as shit, but no, this thing is like gorgeous.
that is a nice belt. That is a nice belt. Lady knows what she's doing. Women.
And she is 100% right. That is some long-term storytelling right there, because it goes all the way back to the original Shield betrayal, and it was a payoff for that.
Yeah. What was that? 2 years ago? 2 or 3 years ago?
Oh God, no! The Shield payoff, the Shield betrayal. That was at least 7 years ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was way before COVID. Yeah, dude. This was back when McMahon was still there.
Man. Speaking of, I loved, y'all know I always had a soft spot for Stephanie, but having Stephanie come out night 2 and announce the Paul, the way she was like saying, I'm really proud of this one, especially this one, because it's the first one in the Paul Levesque era. 100%. That it was almost like a big, middle finger to her dad, at the end of it all, which rightfully so.
The whole show was a big middle finger to Vince.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, you got to look at it this way. I'm glad that people are finally appreciating Triple H for the wrestling genius that he actually is. Because you got to remember, we all came up watching Triple H in the Attitude Era, and we all hated his ass because he
We
was a
did.
perfect heel.
Yep.
He played his part to a T. And it's just like he had people believing that he was in backstage trying to bury other wrestlers, do all this, do all that. And it's just like the guy understands how the business works. And then when NXT came around, it's like, oh, he's in charge of that? That's a really good show. And then here we are.
Interesting note about Triple H that I thought about. And you guys, you were more into wrestling for the most part than I was, but Triple H never really had a face turn unless it was with Degeneration X versus the McMahons. Even that was kind of like a pseudo face. It wasn't really a face. He was never really a face. He was always a heel.
Yeah, he was.
When was he a face?
DX was not DX with China and all of them. They were kind of a tweener team, but the DX, when it was DX and Shawn Michaels, it was and Triple H, that was straight up face because they were doing the stuff making fun of the McMahons, like all of that stuff. That was just babyface stuff. Just with their own style. Yeah, Triple H has been face before. After he blew out his quad and came back as a face. Very briefly, but
his 2000 return, Marcus Superior Prize says he was a heavy face. Okay.
Oh yeah, because Stephanie was trying to get him to go in there and beat people up and this and that. This person said this to me, and he's sitting there like, I just got back. I'm not even trying to get in no beef with anybody over nothing. So
his feud with Brock, he was a face. Okay, all right.
Yep.
I can see a lot of that. Okay. Maybe my personal disdain for Triple H as a persona I love to hate.
He did the character with justice.
Yes. He did. He 100% did. I don't think there was ever a time I was ever on Triple H's side. I liked a lot of his antics when he was with DX, and I loved his entrances. His entrances at WrestleMania were phenomenal. I would never forget his not his Terminator one, but essentially his King Conan entrance is the best I've ever seen. Came down there looking like he was Conan / Shao Kahn. It was great. It was great shit, man. I loved it. It was great.
Anyway, what's your thoughts on WrestleMania, man?
Yeah, man.
Well, being the fact that I'm kind of like Amrock in a way where I stopped watching wrestling. I stopped watching wrestling so long ago. I forgot when I stopped watching wrestling. And like I didn't know, I won't say I didn't know anybody. I knew of some of the people around there. I enjoyed a lot of the matches. Like you said, the main events were great because when we watched the main event from night one and Cody loses, I'm like, he's gonna win on night two. Just that was kind of like, but they were because they were setting that up. But I enjoyed how they did it, completely. I felt for the guy, even though I haven't been watching the story. I haven't been following the story like that. It was great to see, even though she has a lot of. Jade Cargill is just a beautiful woman.
Yes.
And she's probably going to be the Goldberg of the women's division, the way people are putting it, because they're saying she can't wrestle, but boy, she. Whew. Anyway, yeah, but I enjoyed the whole entire night. I mean, the ladder match was kind of cool despite some of the botches. The second night tag team with people who I have no idea were. I like the ladder match because R-Truth and Miz won. And it's hilarious. There was another champion winner, and I don't even know who the hell that was. I don't know who was. It's like they won the belt, and everybody was just like, "Oh, they won!" But the match keeps going. And then when the Miz and R-Truth win, they're like, "Oh yeah, great!" Because I think that's R-Truth's first what to call it?
Win.
That was not win because he's had belts. But
I mean, no win at WrestleMania.
Oh, win at WrestleMania. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was kind of cool. And then on Raw the next night, where it was I mistake. I just saw a picture of it because I thought he was, with his belt with Damian Priest and what's her name, Rhea Ripley, but he was kind of like in there interrupting, and then you find out they had a match because you're not in this stuff, and like it was kind of funny how John Cena came out. But I enjoyed the whole entire show. Will I get back into watching wrestling? I don't know. I don't know yet. I mean, I know this is it's a new era. Hopefully, Triple H and The Rock, you know, them doing things a little bit differently may be able to pull me back in because it was getting stagnant to me. Like I was saying, I don't know nobody's interest theme music to me was really memorable. Cody Rhodes kind of because you got the crowd getting into it, and same thing with Seth Rollins. Yeah. Those two kind of like I like those, but everybody else's music is just so forgettable, like 100%. It's just so forgettable, and like I don't know, dude, I can't say for certain. I don't have USA anyway, so I can't watch Raw, and unless it's the next day, and I have no idea what SmackDown.
Go ahead, Amarat.
It's been like a solid year since I've been back in, and in this year, I've learned more about the main line than I knew about the stuff that I watched over the span of years, which is crazy. Like I memorized intros and theme songs instantly. I could like recognize faces and things now. But like I get excited when different intros happen. Like Reyes, I like it. It fits her. It don't pop like it should for her to have all the fervor that she gets. Becky Lynch, her shit's amazing. She comes out, shit explodes, and the music never stops going. Right? Love it. Sami Zayn. When I first heard his song, I was just like, "Oh, that's actually like nice." And then the chant started. I was like, "Oh, damn, he's got the chant." And then I started noticing the other songs that had like the chants and shit, and I'm like, they got it. They captured something again. And like the crowd actually pops different from, well, we can't count the Corona years, but like the 2012, like when Cena was really happening, it was more comical, and then you had intros and stuff that like weren't memorable. This one, all of it's like one big mush. I can't tell you how R-Truth comes out.
Yeah, me neither. Oh no, I know how he comes out because it's the same. It's been the same since he started. He comes out with his rap.
And when's the last time he's done that? He usually just shows up.
I mean, maybe, but like when he came out, I was like, I recognize that song. Look, right now, out of wrestling, if you were to play anybody's music, I probably wouldn't even recognize it. I might get Cody Rhodes when you get to the whoa part, but you play almost anybody besides Shinsuke Nakamura. His is like the only one that is still gets me. But
this shit is iconic, bro.
How Preem was saying, my man's not even in the WWE. So many people on TikTok was hoping that he was going to show up. That Joe Hendry say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. That right there is catchy as all get out, and it's freaking hilarious how it became a big time meme on goddamn TikTok the last few days. But yeah, honestly, I don't know anybody's stuff.
For me, I think I'm just about hooked back in. I'm not hooked back in to the point that I'm going to watch Raw every week, right? But I'll be paying more attention than I was before, especially based off of what I saw on the second night of WrestleMania. Now, you know, speaking of the women's division, right? The women's division with Jade Cargill. The preeminent match on night 2 was Io Sky versus Bayley. I'll be honest, like Bayley, I feel like is boring. But you know, that's just me. Her, especially her face persona when she first appeared, I always thought she was kind of boring and just like, you know, it's Bayley. Okay, it's Bayley, whatever. Who cares?
The hugger? You didn't like the hugger?
No, you know, I just didn't really like that. But the match she had with Io Sky, I thought was for the most part forgettable, but I did like a lot of the athleticism that Io was showing, especially when she countered out of that last finisher that she had. I was like, she countered that? It was like, and the way she did it too was just impressive too. So, but overall, like I'm super sold on the Drew McIntyre CM Punk storyline, especially after Punk came across the table and just beat the living crap out of him, and then Damian Pierce shows right up, cashes in and takes that belt. I thought that was pretty dope. I'm
and
sold
he's like
on
the first Puerto Rican champion in like who knows how many years. They were saying,
and you know,
I'm world champion.
Yeah, they're talking about it's like WWE years.
Wow,
it's been a long time.
We got a Puerto Rican U.S. champion.
Yeah,
technically.
Well, no, he's Cuban.
Yeah, but I'm also sold on
No, Damian Priest is Puerto Rican. If you're talking about the oh, never mind. No, he was born in Puerto Rico as well. I was thinking of Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes' mom is Cuban, so.
And for me, the other wrestler that really kind of has my attention is LA Knight. LA Knight is freaking charismatic.
Yeah,
that man is he's like near like early Rocky years.
This is Amarok. He's from Ohio, but he was born in Puerto Rico. So,
yeah, they're like, I mean, LA Knight as you know, his skills on the mic are just phenomenal skills on the mic, and his in-ring stuff isn't bad either. So honestly, I think LA Knight is and he also has a pretty good interest music. LA Knight does.
I don't remember his music. I just remember the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the crowd in the palm of his hand.
Yes, he does.
Cody. I mean, obviously, Rock has had it for forever. You know, those people that like they could just get the crowd involved. That's the main thing. Except Dominic. Dominic can't get a word in edgewise.
Right. All right, so let's talk about not just about that, but let's talk about the Raw the next night and things that came out of that. Obviously, leading the show with Cody coming out, getting his flowers. The kickoff of him and The Rock and their storyline, I thought was pretty neat, especially the way Rock is. Rock basically said that hey, I've held all these belts, but I've never held that one. And that's a compelling storyline for him to say, hey, I'm going to come back and try and become WWE World, Universal Champion, which is the one belt that I've never held, which I thought was pretty good. Pretty good reason for them to have a storyline. Seth and Drew, like I said, I think I'm very much interested in, and also CM Punk and Seth. I mean, CM Punk and Drew is going to be good stuff. Really great stuff. What's out there in the chat also that they're also talking about? Dom is the ultimate heel. Is he? Dom is the ultimate heel? Would you say?
The crowd hates Dominic Mysterio. Like, it's not even fair. Man literally cannot say anything during his promos. But
that's hilarious because I listened to that crowd step up like 4 volume levels. I was kind of impressed that they were able to drink.
Oh yeah, they keep getting louder and louder. Let's see. The belt holding thing was a deep cut with the Rock and Cody.
Yeah, it was a deep cut, very very deep cut. Hey, see, what was the other thing I saw? Preem was like they booed him at his wedding. Dominic Mysterio, they booed him at his wedding.
Wow.
Dom got married recently, and they got booed by his family. That's crazy. That's crazy.
No, that is a beautiful thing to happen.
That is
you
crazy.
Are doing a real good chunk of your job, like even
man. Yeah, man, that's pretty dope. Will it be Rock versus Cody at SummerSlam? Yeah. Will it be Rock versus Cody at SummerSlam? Is Rock versus Cody a WrestleMania worthy event, or is that a SummerSlam buildup? Because Rock obviously is leaving, and it's going to be hard because I think he has to deal with the UFL and a few other things while he's basically off the canvas. I don't think they'll be able to do a buildup of a storyline to do their match at SummerSlam. I could be wrong, but SummerSlam being in less than 6 months, I just don't see it personally. What do you guys think?
They may not need him. I mean, if The Rock is going to be part of the board, his input is going to be there. And if they need to bring him in or bring anybody in, they just might do so. But, you know, it's just, what do you call that? A catalyst. The Rock was a catalyst right now to help boost everything that was going on.
Yep.
And now we have to see where it goes. And I don't think they necessarily need that. But of course, you know, you always got to have a champion striving, either somebody striving to take the belt or somebody striving to keep it. So that we're going to have to wait and see. Because The Rock can't stick around forever. That motherfucker's going to be 52 this year. Yeah, he may be able to still wrestle, but I didn't even notice and I forget which match, but I was watching something on YouTube today and his knee buckled. They thought he tore his ACL. But he didn't, which was nice, but his knee buckled. You know, you can't put your body through that same stuff regardless on, you know, you could, you know, be in shape, as they say. It's still, you're old and you don't heal the same way as you do when you're young.
Yep.
So,
yep. Also, them bell bottoms.
tripping over them bell bottoms, baby.
Oh man.
Yep. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Let's see. Marcus 6 Source says you might get a potential Cody and Roman rematch at SummerSlam.
I can see that. Is it too soon?
Here's the thing. No. SummerSlam is like in August.
It's still less than 6 months away. So
no, yeah, but I mean, you can have Cody defend the belt because again, he's going to be that quote unquote fighting champion that probably you know, defends the title more often, very similar to how Seth Rollins was defending the belt every other week or whatever, instead of, you know, like Roman over the course of almost 4 years defended it 31 times. So
now at Raw last night, somebody got not last night, but on Monday, on Raw on Monday, who got number one contender? There was like a screw job that happened.
That was for Damian Priest's title. That was
that was for the heavyweight championship. Okay,
yeah, Jey Uso.
Okay.
Also, thanks to Minority Games for the bits and everybody that has cheered bits. Appreciate y'all.
Indeed, sir. Indeed.
They said that match was so boring. Jey Uso and Jimmy.
Jey
versus
Jimmy
kicking each other in the head.
I think they didn't go all out.
That match.
Yeah, they could have went a little bit harder than they did.
I will say this. On the second night when Jay came out, we thought somebody had died. Yeah,
that angle made it look like there was no table that they landed on. It looked like they just dropped off the side of the stage, like
man,
beefy.
Right.
Man. Like, okay. Thought somebody was dead. We was like, wait a minute, what?
Oh, they made that look good.
Great camera angle.
Yeah, that angle was perfect because it was like, dude, there's nothing down there. I'm like, oh, they landed on the table. Like,
it was like, woo. Oh, shout out to Bubba Ray.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Shout out to Bubba Ray. Oh
man had them glasses ready.
Yes.
Hey, shout out to Snoop Dogg too, man. His commentary was amazing.
That was hilarious. I did see a thing that said he flubbed the numbers when he was doing the report or whatever.
Who cares?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Apparently somebody did in order to report it.
Yo, man, his commentary, we that motherfucker was high as hell. Had to.
Oh no, they could have pressed the issue to not be so lit. Like
my man
Snoop
was
Dogg, dude.
My man was out there just. Oh man, that was some great stuff. That was some great stuff. That that 6-man tag match. That was great stuff. Like he needs to come back and do that every year. We were saying they need to get him on 2K24.
He needs to be on the next game.
Yeah, he needs to be in the next 2K as a guest commentator. Because like, bro,
Minority
that
Games,
was great.
Can they bring back Hulk Hogan?
Absolutely
For
not. Absolutely not. For what? Somebody was saying they need to bring back Stone Cold Steve Austin. For what? But I mean, like literally, for what?
Stone Cold wrestled a match about 2 years ago. Maybe a year ago. I don't remember. It's again, Stone Cold is one that you can always bring back for nostalgia purposes, but he does not need to be wrestling a match.
No, he can't do it. His body literally cannot do it anymore. So literally, why would you do that? Like for what? To have him wrestle and be a shell of himself? It's no longer necessary. The Rock is different because physically he can still do those things. That's different. Yeah, and again, plus Rock thought he was the final boss, then the lights went out. 100%. The final boss Rock was a great evolution of his heel persona. Great evolution of his.
I'm right. Didn't like it. What didn't you like about it?
Please elaborate.
I don't know. So, like he's an actor and stuff. It doesn't feel like a continuation of The Rock. It just feels like he came back and was like, "Let's try some weird shit." And I honestly don't like how heel he's trying to be without a buildup. Like he just came back and was like, "Boy," and
he had the build
I was
up.
like,
The build up was him was Cody disrespecting his family. That was the build up. That's all he needed.
I don't know. It just didn't hit with me.
And it's fine if that wasn't hitting with you, but much like his nemesis Dominic Toretto, it's all about family for that man. It's all about family for that man.
Part of me wished he would have showed up.
Vin?
Yeah,
Vin
for
Diesel?
absolutely. Yeah.
What?
Just to be because he would be able to talk somebody into letting him get close enough to piss the Rock off, and that would have been hilarious.
I mean, maybe here's why I accepted his heel turn, because he came in, he behind the scenes supposedly talked Cody out of the main event so he could take the main event, and Cody went back on his word. So it's like, okay, we're trying to build up this huge main event for, based on the Anoa'i family and all that other sort of stuff. And you basically came up and said yes. And then all of a sudden now you're going to snatch it away. Okay. So, and like Kenshiro said, you're going to insult my family on top of that when we already just laid out how important and how big of a family thing this is. So the evolution from him being on the board, being the Hollywood asshole heel, that character all the way back from when he did it when Goldberg first showed up, is a perfect natural evolution of like, this guy's got all this power, all this ego. I am the man.
Did he say? He says, "You count us out and you're fired."
Yeah, in the middle of that match,
yeah,
dropped the F-bomb like on the ref.
Yep,
it was like,
count us out.
You count us out and you're fired. Like, yeah,
right.
Like literally, I was telling the guys this even on Sunday. I said he is the final boss. Is literally the next level of the Mr. McMahon persona, because he is literally on the TKO board. He is literally a boss of everybody there, even Triple H. He, unlike Vince, can convincingly wrestle and use his corporate weight to push stuff around. He is the perfect heel for in that mannerism of the way Mr. McMahon wanted to be. Rock can be that. He 100% can be that. Iguana Man is bringing up a good thing over on YouTube. What did Rock give Cody in that handshake? Did he ever reveal it?
Nope.
No.
Not to my knowledge.
People are speculating it's a watch.
There's three major speculations. One is a watch that supposedly, I think Cody or somebody in the Rhodes family had to pawn. No, this is straight up, because even when they were starting the Cody buildup, I think last year or whatever, Heyman had to basically lend Dusty Rhodes money. Otherwise, they would have been out on the street. So I mean, there was really legitimately like some financial issues and burdens with the Rhodes family. Some people are saying it's one of that the chili pepper from the Ulafala, I believe is the name of it, of the necklace that Roman wears. He gave him supposedly a piece of that, because the symbolic representation is once you take down a high chief, or not a high chief, a tribal chief, they hand over a piece of that to you, because you've basically kind of ascended to a tribal chief position. That's probably a little bit more way out there. The third one is absolutely nothing. And it was just something to get people talking as we're talking about it right now.
True. Okay. But Prima's on one, man, out of the chat. Rock did it's yeah, right there. The Rock gave Cody a flash drive with footage of him partying with Diddy.
Got some of that blackmail.
Yeah, man. No,
Oh
that's
my
some good
goodness.
stuff.
That's
Marcus
crazy.
864 says it was like him putting down Roman. That's why he said, "Don't ever break my heart again." I didn't.
I mean, according to what I was reading on the wiki, Cody Rhodes was trained by who was he trained by? God, now the brain's gone, but somebody that was in the family or whatever. So it might have been, you know, one of those things where you felt like you're being betrayed in the actions of what he did. So I don't know. Let me see real quick because got it right in front of me. The trained by
Not fast enough. Come on. About to run out of time.
Never mind. You're good.
Yeah.
No, it was Randy.
No, I mean Ed Orton.
Yeah, so then never mind. I got it crossed up with something else.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of
obviously,
Orton.
yeah.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, speaking of Orton, let's talk about that Randy Orton, Kevin Owens,
Logan
I
Paul
almost forgot about that. And correct,
Logan
Paul was not born in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were watching Raw, and somebody said that though. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, he's
not Raw,
well,
but
when they announced him, they said from Puerto Rico
by way of
residing,
Ohio.
Residing in Ohio.
Yeah.
By way of Ohio. That's what they said.
So they made a confusion.
He's billed as being from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, he just moved there, motherfucker.
Right.
Now, again, I've said before when we went to SummerSlam last year here in Detroit, and I saw Logan Paul, and I was basically crapping on him the entire time. His match with Ricochet was to me one of the most impressive of that night. Just because of the way, you know, I had never seen Logan really wrestle. I had totally, you know, underestimated him, but he literally had put in the work. That match was all the way indicative of that. The way he put in the work, and, you know, the way, you know, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens were not necessarily carrying him, but, you know, basically they were all playing off of each other, and it was really well done. Now, you could call this the influencer match, I guess, if you want, especially with the Pure bottle. Is it Pure? Is it Pure the brand? Prime, the Prime bottle, where revealing themselves to be fellow social media influencer I Show Speed, to be the one back there, and he motherfucker was barking at Randy Orton.
He got destroyed too.
Sparta kicked his ass though.
Yeah, he did. That Sparta was great.
Part of that kick was
Sparta kick
real.
was awesome. That Sparta kick was great, bro. Boom.
Yeah. Again, they put on a great show from beginning to end. There might have been, you know, like anything, there's some matches that just weren't necessarily your favorite or weren't all that whatever. But overall, from start to finish, that was an amazing WrestleMania.
Yes,
and
it was.
Like I said, I'm still mad that they won't put that one on Blu-ray, because all the other ones from 24 on were on Blu-ray. So that one deserves, to me, to be on Blu-ray along with the entire Hall of Fame ceremony. Because Paul Heyman getting in is long overdue.
Yo, man, Marcus 864, man, you need to let that go, brother. You need to let that go. No. He says, I hate Ricochet. Damn him being with Samantha Irvin's dude. She's fine as hell though. She is fine as hell. No question. Just looking gorgeous. She is gorgeous as a ring announcer. She's gorgeous. Now, her basically being super emotional when Cody won the match. I'll give her grace on that, but she was really emotional about.
You should see her on Raw the next day, where like Cody told her, like, I need to hear that again. She was like, I got you.
Well, I think that's one of the things that people like about her is she's now taking nothing away from Lillian Garcia, because Lillian Garcia was really good at what she did. Samantha is a super fan. She got her job from being a fan. So I think that emotion coming through just makes her more relatable.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. just me being me. No one outdoes the Fink. No one's better than Finkel in my eyes, but that's just me.
Samantha and Lillian are better to look at, though.
Oh, 100%. No,
100.
1,000%. 1,000%.
1,000%.
1,000%. 100%. All right, so guys, sit on forum. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show and get out of here. Who knows what we'll be talking about next week, but more than likely, we absolutely will be talking about X-Men 97 for sure. So make sure you come back next week for another episode of Culture Junkies Live.
Make sure you watch.
And
X-Men
do
97.
make sure you
Please
watch
the
97.
show next week.
Man, come on, man. I really want to have a full on, spoiler laden discussion because I want to talk about the show and everything within it. All the emotions, all the feelings, all the drama and stuff like that. Damn you, Amarak, for not being hip. So after this show, you need to get right up on it.
If you watch 2 episodes, you got 3 to watch. That's an hour and a half.
Yeah, man. You home now? I'll be home in 10. He's watching all of it. There he goes. The woman has spoken. The woman has spoken.
Especially you over there showing off her tag.
Exactly.
Hour.
Exactly.
Still, hour and a half. You got this, bro. You got
Well,
this
if she's
with
gonna
2
be home
hands.
at 10, that means she's driving while typing this stuff. So
Maybe she's
stop.
Oh
that.
yeah. Do not drive, text and drive.
Speech to text.
I guess
Yeah.
she could do that.
Yeah.
But that also implies that she's reading too. Well, no, she can
Yeah,
watch.
well, be
Okay.
careful.
What X-Men? Well, Problematic, the new X-Men show that's been on for the last 4 weeks.
Voice chat, baby. She says voice chat. Problematic. Yes, we're talking about X-Men 97. If
I don't believe that
if
one
you
bit.
are not watching X-Men 97, you 100% need to be watching X-Men 97. I mean,
Watch
by-
it. Come back
by-
next week. Let's talk
by
about
hook, by hook or by crook. You definitely need to be watching that. I'm not saying how you gonna watch it. Because Disney ain't cracking down on password sharing yet, even though they're about to. But make sure you watch it. Anyway, y'all, let's wrap that up. So for my friends, the great Adakuji GQ and King Amarak, I'm Kishiro. See you guys next week. Have a really good one. Stay safe.
Say a game and I appear. I'm the great Dadakuji.
Don't you mean say Binding
No,
of
I said
Isaac and I'm
exactly what I
here?
said.
Yeah. no,
Say
no,
a
right,
game
right.
and I appear. I'm
This
the
thing is
great
shit.
Dadakuji.
Texting and driving is my mutant power. Wow, problematic. Ugh. We don't
all the
advocate for
belts
that.
are-
Stay safe.
All the belts are heavy, sir. You should know this.
I know this thing is like
They are.